First of all, to all my friends in Russia and Serbia, s Rождеством Христовым. Today is Christmas Day. And how did that happen? It's entirely a result of Julius Caesar and Pope Gregory the 13th in 1582. In 46 BC, just before he was assassinated, Julius Caesar reformed the Roman calendar, which had become misaligned with the solar year, so that I think January was in November, or it may have been even more extreme than that. And the new calendar established 365 days. That's what we've got now, with a leap year of 366 days every 4 years. But even that wasn't sufficient. So effectively, this led to 11 minutes of error every year. And over the centuries, this discrepancy became a drift between the calendar dates and the astronomical events like the spring equinox. And so therefore, again, it was misaligned. And the Gregorian calendar put that right in 1582. The reform at the time skipped 10 days, now I think it's 13, to realign the calendar with the equinox. And so October the 4th, 1582, was followed directly by October the 15th, 1582. And to improve accuracy, the Gregorian calendar adjusted the leap year rule. So century years are not leap years unless divisible by 400. So that meant that 2000 and 1600 were leap years. And Catholic countries, as a result of the direction of the Pope, adopted it quickly, but Protestant and Orthodox nations were much slower to accept it because of their religious and political inclinations. England and its colonies, including America, adopted the Gregorian calendar in 1752, by which time the Julian calendar was 11 days out of sync. And to align it with the rest of Europe, it meant that September the 2nd, 1752 was followed by September the 14th, 1752, and there was an outcry, public outrage, with people believing that their lives were shortened and encapsulated in the phrase, "Give us back our 11 days," which then became quite a celebrated painting by Hogarth. And this is why the Orthodox Church celebrates Easter on a different day, and it doesn't matter whether the Orthodox Church is aligned with the Patriarchate of Moscow or with the Ecumenical Patriarchate in Istanbul, in Constantinople. Easter always follows the Julian calendar. But for the last few decades, the Ecumenical Patriarchate has followed the Gregorian calendar in terms of Christmas Day. So Christmas Day for the Greek Church and now for the Ukrainian Church is 13 days in advance of the Julian calendar. And so the Greeks and the Ukrainians follow celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December, while the Russians and the Serbs celebrate Christmas today on the 7th of January. So if you have any Russian or Serbian friends, the greeting today is Happy Christmas, with the Nativity of Christ, and s Rождеством, and Happy Christmas. I think it's important to recognize that Russia is a wonderful country with wonderful people in it. It's a great shame that they are ruled by a tyranny from Moscow and this fantasy of Vladimir Putin. But that has been ongoing for a while, and I'm sure for the day Vladimir Putin's Smeg fridge will be opened to let the light in, the Nativity, the feast of the Nativity, Christmas Day, is a central element in the Orthodox theology. It's the day of the celebration of the Theosis, the day when God becomes man, and creation is changed. Divinity is mixed with humanity, and a way forward is shown for the future, and it's represented every Sunday in the liturgy, when the priest cuts the bread in preparation for the consecration, and he puts the bread on the pattern, which is sort of raised. It's a raised pattern in the Orthodox Church, and there's a little structure which is placed over the pattern, over which there is a veil, and that structure is called the star. And sometimes on the star there is a little star hanging down from this fork-like edifice, which represents the cave in which Christ was born, the stable. And so, although the chief image of the liturgy on a Sunday is of the Easter sacrifice and the Easter mystery and the resurrection, and a commemoration of the Good Friday Eucharist, it's also a direct memory of the event in Bethlehem, of the birth in Bethlehem, and of the star, and of the manger, and the crib, and the cave. So it is very central to Orthodox theology. It's not simply an added festival with presents and a tree. So happy Christmas.